So pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is the bottom of the bowl. Super easy explanation. And it is made up of four muscles. So we're not gonna go into like crazy. I just want you guys to like look at it so you can keep picturing the bottom of the bowl and like know that the bottom of your bowl is the entire thing is your pelvic floor and how important it is to draw attention to. So we have, we have the rectalis, which is a muscle that wraps around the rectum, which helps us hold in our poop. And then we have the pubococcygeus. Um, and then we have the coccygeus muscle too. So when we are going to go through, when we're going to lie down on the floor and like go through pelvic floor awareness, we're going to do it bit by bit. So we're actually going to try to, and I'm going to walk us through it, to contract all of our pelvic floor muscles one at a time and really understand like if we're doing our Kegels correctly, when you do it correctly, considering I did it incorrectly for a lot of years. But doing it correctly is just so much more empowering because you can feel the differences. So if you guys want to lie down or you want to take a seat somewhere, we're going to go through the pelvic floor stuff, and we're going to start with some breathing, and then we'll connect the pelvic floor, and then we will come back on if anybody has any questions, and then we can wrap up from there. For sure, I'll send it over. I will put it in the Facebook group actually. All right, cool. Okay, so let's get into comfortable position. And however that is, I'm going to stay right here and stay close to the mic. So just lying down from here, if you're lying down, or if you're sitting, just sitting grounded with your feet on the floor. If you can put your feet up, or if you can lean back on something. Basically, you want us to get in the position that we have to exert the least control over. As you find your position, just melting into it. So just get as comfortable as possible. And I just want us to, with each exhale, get heavier into the floor. And just noticing where there's potential holding. So as you aim to get heavier into the floor or the bed, drawing awareness, we'll start from the top, from the eyes and the forehead. And just continuously breathing as we go through these, further relaxing the mouth, the jaw. If there's any clenching, just opening and relaxing the mouth and the throat. Even a couple of breaths through the back of your throat. And just seeing if there's any resistance to breathing from your throat. And just allowing the air to exhale without any control, just with ease. And softening through the shoulders and the neck. Just breathing at your own pace. No need to control the breathing too much right now. Breathing into the chest and the heart space. As you exhale, just relaxing and getting heavier through the mid-back, the thoracic spine. Just noticing the rib cage flare out and expand as you breathe in. And just noticing it fall and depress as you exhale. Couple of expansive breaths in and out of the rib cage. Noticing any tension in the shoulders and the throat and the chest and the jaw and the face. And just allowing all that to continuously soften. Breathing in a couple smiles and just thanking yourself for being here and doing these awareness practices that are easier to say than do. Just taking a couple of cleansing breaths here as we continue to move down the body. Noticing if there's any clenching or holding in the belly, the stomach muscles. Noticing how freely they want to move with each inhale. We want our belly and our diaphragm to expand. So as the diaphragm contracts for us to take a deep breath in, it pulls down to expand the rib cage to bring oxygen in. And as we exhale, the belly falls, the rib cage depresses, the stale oxygen pushes out. And just noticing any control that comes up in the chest and the neck. Just allowing you to notice your breath, no need to control anything right now. So these are the practices. This is a breathing practice that I love to do and tune into my emotional body and just asking myself what I'm feeling. If there's any feelings of tenderness or a heavy heart or joy, happiness, just feeling where you feel those emotions can give us a lot of insight into areas of our body that we experience either pain or tension, or perhaps feel numb. Allowing yourself to exhale through the throat, make some sounds. The vibration from the throat is cleansing and healing. So allowing yourself to even accentuate any sounds. Super relaxing practice for going to bed at night. I find as my head hits the pillow, I just let out a big vocal sigh. And I do it every night. And I've been doing it for years. And it just helps my body drop into the pillow. We keep moving down, noticing the breath, noticing where it's at, noticing the belly expand, allowing us to breathe into the lower abdomen. Seeing if there's any resistance in the inhale or the exhale there. Allowing yourself to take some deeper breaths into the lower abdomen. And just with each exhale, relaxing from the head, the neck, the chest, the thoracic spine, the rib cage. Relaxing the lower back. On the next few breaths, as you breathe into the lower abdomen, also going to channel and breathe into the lower back. During this time, if you notice there's any emotions that come up, that is completely normal as your body is letting down some of the armor, some of the clenching, just holding space for yourself and allowing yourself to feel whatever you feel. This is how we listen to the little whispers of our body. And as we continue breathing, we're going to go into the hips. And if you're in a position where you can bend your knees and put your feet on the floor, You're just going to do that gently and allow from here both knees to just fall over to one side like windshield wipers. Not trying to muscle the knees down and trying to reduce as much muscular control. So really just moving from the joints, keeping the feet planted, allowing one knee to fall and then the other knee to fall in the same direction. And breathing into the side body, just saying hello to the lumbar spine, giving it a bit of a twist. We can do a couple more of those. As we loosen up through the hips, we're going to start drawing awareness through the pelvic floor. So keeping the hips lubricated is one of probably the most important things. The hips are the biggest joint in the body. We have a large muscle called the psoas, also known as a hip flexor, that passes from the inner thigh, the very top of the inner thigh, inside, and fascially connects through the pelvic floor and through up to the diaphragm, which is our breathing muscle. So when we're trying to reduce control with our breathing, some little windshield wipers are always nice to lubricate the hips, loosen up any control that we might be holding there, and just drawing awareness. If you are still in the position, you can bring your feet back to the middle, and from here, just drop into a butterfly stretch. So allowing the knees to fall to either side with the feet somewhat together. And just breathing into the inner thighs. And with each exhale, allowing the knees to fall to the ground. With each exhale, allowing the lower back to melt, the thoracic spine to fall. From here, we're going to breathe all the way from our inner thighs, all the way up through the diaphragm, into the heart and the chest. Exhale through the throat. And we're going to cycle through that a few more times, breathing this time through the inner thighs, in through the womb and the lower abdomen, up into the diaphragm, into the chest. Exhale out the throat, and just seeing this as like a wave up the inner thighs, into the womb, big expansive breath into the lower back, the diaphragm, the rib cage expanding up to the chest. And as you exhale, passively exhaling through the back of your throat. Feeling any temperature changes in the body. Maybe yes, maybe no. And just feeling little bits of energy moving as you breathe in, wherever we draw attention. From the inner thighs, one more time, all the way up into the womb and the uterus. And just drawing your awareness and your breath there to the rib cage, bringing it up to the throat, exhaling through the back of the throat. Allowing yourself to just melt into a couple of breaths here. We're going to start getting into the pelvic floor specifically. So if your knees are still open, you can just rock them a little bit, keeping your feet together, just allowing your body to rock from one side with the knees, keeping it gentle, noticing any clenching as you rock in your chest, your jaw, your face, allowing the movements to be gentle, restorative. pain-free. And from here, drawing awareness to the pelvic floor and just breathing deep into the yoni. And just saying hello. This is our life force energy, an area that we deeply want to reconnect with and de-armor. On the next couple of breaths, we're just going to relax the pelvic floor, any contractions through the belly, through the inner thighs, finding a position for your legs that's as comfortable as possible for you. And we're going to visualize a box, just a square. And in that square, you're going to visualize a circle, a small circle in the middle. And you're going to visualize that small circle in the middle of your box as your pelvic floor. And then from each corner of the square, you're going to imagine strings attaching to the center circle. And those are the pelvic floor muscles that we're going to engage. So from here, we're going to think about your pelvic bone in the front and your tailbone in the back. And you're going to contract nice and small just to bring those two, the front and the back, closer together. These are all going to be really gentle in the beginning, just seeing if we can dissociate, and then we'll do them all together, and then we'll dissociate them all again. Bringing the front to the back and holding that contraction. From here, you're going to contract to bring both sitting bones together. So again, these are gentle, trying not to squeeze the glute muscles, just keeping an eye and keeping your focus on the circle in the middle of that square and bringing the sitting bones together. And then from here, the top of the circle, we're going to contract as if to hold the bladder. Feeling more of a contraction through the front. And then from here, contracting the anal sphincter so as to hold in your poop. And as you hold all four, just drawing awareness to your breath, drawing awareness to any tension in your shoulders or your neck or your jaw. And allowing yourself to exhale and release everything if you haven't already. And just melting into that. We're going to do that 2 more times, and then we're going to do them all together, and then we're going to go through some drills, pelvic floor drills. So just swallow a couple of times, get comfortable. So we're going to start again, imagining the box and the circle in the center. We're going to aim to bring the front pelvic bone and the back tailbone together. Nice and gentle. Keeping your breath with your natural rhythm, we're going to bring the sitting bones together. Keeping those 2 contractions on, we're going to contract the urethral sphincter so as to hold the urine, feeling more sensation in the front. Keeping all those 3 contractions, we're going to involve the anal sphincter and pull that up. And holding all 4 muscles, we're just breathing here. It's okay if it feels weak or you're not sure. We're just drawing awareness and exploring. Keeping the breath of the natural rhythm, relaxing the throat and the neck. And exhale to release. We're going to do that once a little bit faster now that you kind of have an idea. Just getting comfortable here. We're going to draw the front to the back. and the sitting bones together and the urethral sphincter on and the anal sphincter on. Holding this, we're breathing and relaxing the shoulders, trying to find some pattern of breathing. If you're finding it difficult to breathe and do this, this makes complete sense because fascially our pelvic floor is connected to our diaphragm. So if this isn't a normal exercise for you, it'll just take a little bit of rewiring. Just practice like everything else. And exhale to release. So we're going to go through all of those again, and we're going to do some breath hold. No, not breath holds. We're going to do some pelvic holds. And we're going to remember that the pelvic floor has layers to it. So the external layer might feel like a flicker or a twitch. And we're going to try to deepen the contraction and think of layers even deeper into the body. And we're going to connect all the way into the lower abdomen. One thing is, if you're not sure if you're doing this correctly, one thing you can do is just put your hand on your stomach and make sure that you don't feel any abs contracting as you're doing this. So commonly, we kind of like flex our abs when we're doing pelvic floor stuff, but we just want to isolate for the purpose of this exercise to draw awareness to. So just make sure we're not clenching the core. Again, getting comfortable here and just approaching all these exercises with gentleness and compassion and love. And yeah, just being so happy that you're here doing this and connecting with your body. So we're going to go through and do some HIIT training for our, for our pelvic floor. We're going to do intervals, guys. So here we go. Just completely relaxing with the exhale. We're going to scoop everything up so we can separate it for the first one. So if that helps you, you can do that. If you find that to be like a little bit too much for right now, you can just contract everything that you know that contracts, as long as you're not using your core and flexing your abs. But if you are doing it one at a time, you're going to pull the front to the back. We're going to try to have a little stronger contraction for each one. Pull the sitting bones together. Pull the urethral sphincter up so as to hold the urine, and pull the anal sphincter up as well. You're going to hold all of these to the best of your abilities. And if you notice one is turning off, just do your best. And we're just going to breathe here. And thinking about the pelvic floor as layers, we're going to pull the contraction in a little stronger. And as you pull it in, just notice the breath and get back to some sort of a normal breathing pattern. We're going to keep pulling in the layers. And we're going to keep breathing and pulling in the layers. If you've let go or you kind of got a little mixed up, that's completely fine. We're just holding the pelvic floor, pulling the layers in as deep as possible, trying to find some sort of a breathing. And exhale and relax. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to control the exhale. Okay, so if we're thinking fitness and muscle contracting, this will be like the eccentric version. So if we're thinking bicep curl, this is the down phase of the curl. So the eccentric, the muscles are elongating. This is still a prime time to strengthen muscles. All right. So here we go again. We're going to pull the whole bowl up, and maybe getting easier now. It may still be a little bit challenging. It's completely fine. Just finding some nice contraction here. And from here, we're going to think of pulling up a marble along with this. So you have one glass marble sitting on your pelvic floor, and you're just going to think about bringing that marble up higher into your abdomen. We're just going to relax the neck and the shoulders. Breathe, keep that marble up there. And this time we're going to lower that marble down slowly, remembering that it's glass. We don't want to shoot it out of us. So we're just going to exhale and see if we can control that marble on the way down. That might feel very challenging. That's completely normal. And we're going to keep doing this. We have about 5 more repetitions. So here we go, pulling in all those muscles, really get the urethral sphincter to work as well. It's a strong part, pelvic floor. And creating that nice contraction first that feels well-rounded while you can relax your chest and your neck and your head and your shoulders. And then scooping up the marble, the imaginary marble, and pulling all the layers up so that the marble continues to move into your lower abdomen. Keeping the marble up, we're going to lower the marble down slowly. So this might feel like contracting and letting go of one muscle at a time. Exhaling it. Completely relaxing everything. We're going to do 4 more. We're going to move through them nice and smoothly. So you're just almost like going to picture yourself doing a slow bicep curl. So here we go on the next breath, keeping everything relaxed, rocking your hips around a little bit if you're getting a little bit tense through there. While you're doing this at home, you can also do some windshield wipers in between just to help you kind of reset. Take breaks. So here we go again. We're going to do this 4 more times. We're going to go a little bit smoother. So picturing yourself doing a bicep curl, you're going to, let's pick up the weight first. So we're actually going to put the marble right at the floor. And then we're going to contract the whole floor. And as you do this, you're also contracting the layers, bringing the marble up. Now it's almost at your diaphragm area. So you brought it all the way up, keeping the bottom layers all nice and tight. And we're going to slowly picture and imagine us lowering this marble. Good. Exhaling. We're going to do 3 more. Picking up the weight and contracting from the bottom up, using the layers, pulling all the way up. Holding that marble right where your diaphragm is, below your rib cage, and slowly lowering the bicep curl down. Breathing 2 more times. Marble sits at the floor of your pelvis, scooping it up and smiling and seeing this marble as like this beacon of light that's igniting your womb. And it's going to come up all the way and wake up all the little structures. As you pull it up at the top of your bicep curl, it sits right at the bottom of your diaphragm. And just controlling this beacon of light slowly down as you exhale and letting it go completely. And we're going to do 1 more. I think we have 1 more. From here, grabbing the marble. Actually, we're going to do 2 more. This is our second to last one. So we're going to grab the marble, squeeze the pelvic floor. Let's get the anal sphincter involved as well, and the urethral sphincter in the front, creating a nice secure bowl in the bottom for our beacon of light to come up as we pull it up with the layers of our fascial tissue inside. Really making it a strong contraction this time, using everything you have without squeezing your abs or your butt. Bringing this beacon of light, smiling at it, holding it at the bottom of your diaphragm. And exhaling as we lower this beacon slowly down all the way, and exhale. This is amazing. We're going to add in one more marble for our last rep. And this is something I want you guys to play with too. Using 2 marbles is so helpful to help us make sure we're keeping all the muscles on, and just helps us draw a little extra awareness. So again, if you need to ever windshield wiper your hips, relaxing through the throat, and picking up the first marble and holding that in a place where you can contract and still pick up another marble. Sometimes sound effects help. Now from here, we're going to contract both and bring up each marble, which are sitting about an inch away from each other, and use the layers of our pelvic floor to pull these beacons of light up. As you exhale, lowering each marble one at a time, feeling the contractions, just noticing how beautiful our pelvic floor can literally be strengthened just with the power of our minds and drawing awareness to it. Exhaling, letting them go. From here, just relaxing into the floor for a couple of cleansing breaths. Now, when you do these practices, you can do these virtually anytime. And you can also think of these as like different fitness protocols. So you can think about the isometric, which is you just holding the contraction for like 10 seconds and then letting go. Or you can do more of a repetition style and pull them all the way up and then lower them down and pull them all the way up. All the way up is subjective as well. The more of a connection you can build, the higher up you can pull the marbles. And exhaling. Good. Awesome. Just wringing out the hips a little bit, rocking from side to side. That is quite the exercise. So if you felt like that took a lot of mental energy, that is completely normal. Good. Awesome. Now from here, I want us to just stay and be where you are with yourself. If there's anything that came up or you have any questions, just pop on. And yeah, if there is something I missed or something that doesn't feel clear from today, please let me know. There's like so much that I always want to talk about. And yeah, if I missed anything, just even if you feel like you asked and I didn't answer, just really just ask again, either now or in the Facebook group, or email me. And we could talk more about structure and workouts or whatever it is, pelvic floor, orgasms, pelvic pain, painful periods. But if you're just so good the way you are, I'm so happy you guys showed up. Honestly, this work is truly life-changing, and I'm just so happy and honored that you guys are here putting this time in to tune into your bodies. And yeah, hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you all next week. We have Liz, who's our psychotherapist and conscious relationship coach. She is going to talk about flow of masculine and feminine within ourselves and in relationships. So I feel like it's just going to be a beautiful gift for us all to drop into our bodies. Love you guys, and have a great night. Thank you guys. Awesome. Great. That's awesome, Steph. Glad to hear that. Sweet. Rachel, let me know if you ever have any questions. I'm going to let you be. Awesome. Great, great, great. Have a beautiful night. Mwah.